Hey guys and girls, Bored now back with you for another brand new television review, and on this video it's gonna be my thoughts on the second episode of Star Trek Picard, the new Amazon Prime spin-off, and this episode is called Maps and Legends. So I really liked the first episode. I thought it got things off to a really good start, some intriguing ideas in there, really strong character stuff, and did a good job of establishing where Picard is now in the present in relation to the past, and had some really great ideas. It looked really beautiful as well, that's worth saying. But this one is a bit different. It sort of opens the story up a bit more. It's a bit faster paced, and there's kind of a bit more sort of jumping about between locations, whereas most of the first episode is about Picard and where he is and him sort of finding things and where he's going to be in relation to the story. You get a bit more on the other characters here. But again, I thought it was really good stuff. It kept things like moving along quite nicely, and I think again it gets a bit deeper into like the politics of the whole, like the higher powers and to do with this whole conspiracy, why they're seemingly trying to do away with like this cloning technology, and trying to almost stop any sort of challenge to that. So Picard sort of discovers that the Roman police, they like to sort of clear their tracks, or cover their tracks if you like. So we see then they've cleaned the crime scene from where they killed Dadji's boyfriend, and also Picard is watching the film back from the previous episode where Dadji exploded in front of him, went up in flames, and it's sort of discovered that there's a mechanism where they can sort of clean up after themselves, essentially. So that's all to do with them trying to cover their tracks and leave no trace of such a thing. And one of Picard's allies, who has quite a good sort of role in this episode, actually has some quite sort of amusing lines, and is very sort of forthright and feisty. Has a lot of good dialogue, actually. She's telling him about how the Romulan police are very fearful and nervous about the capabilities and the technology of these like androids and drones. And the first sort of scene we get actually in the episode is that it actually jumps back 14 years, so a different perspective. So this sort of lines up with around about the time when Picard was last on the Starfleet as the captain and was in power before his retirement. And as we learned last week, his decision when it comes to cloning and technology, that was crucial in him like being dismissed as Starfleet captain. So we start the episode by going back 14 years, and it's sort of showing you like the results and the consequences. So you have what they call plastic people on this ship, and one of them, we see his process, we see his, or it's like mind sort of process, and he's being mocked by like these other technicians, and one of them's very dismissive, saying, because when she mocks him, one of the others says, he can hear you, and she's like, oh, he doesn't have feelings, he's just a thing, basically. So again, that's really getting into the headspace and the sort of kind of ideas behind some of the political like subtext. But next thing you know, this android basically goes rogue. He loses control. He malfunctions. He leaves no prisoners. He blows the rest of them up. Then he destroys himself. So I guess that's what they're saying in the present to do with they leave no trace. If something like this happens, then they make sure then they malfunction and blow up as well. It's a way of the government like covering their tracks, so this can't be traced back to them, and there's no sort of suspicions. It will be just written off, I guess, as like a random sort of like accident malfunction with the technology. So that's just a little sort of sharp insight. So Picard also is told then it's possible that in the first episode they killed the wrong twin, basically. They were actually looking for Dargy's sister, who's the one we've seen on the space base with the Harry Treadwell character. So Picard is told that it may well have been an error in the system and that they got the wrong twin because obviously they look alike. And so Picard, basically, this is the episode where he's pushing desperately to be allowed back into Starfleet, just for one mission. It's that kind of deal where it's kind of saying to people, yeah, just get the band back together for one last mission, because this is really important to stop this crisis. So first of all, we see him go to a doctor played by David Palmer, who's this really great actor who has been in so many things over the years. He was in Quiz Show, he's been in various other things, lots of high-profile films. He's normally like a supporting actor, but he's consistently good. And he's obviously this doctor who Picard has known from way back, and he's obviously telling Picard then his faculties may not be quite as they once were, that there could be certain issues, but Picard essentially just wants him to give him a clean bill of health to give him the go ahead to go on this mission. So the doctor reluctantly gives him that go ahead. But no, it's not as simple as that. That's not the only hurdle for Picard. He has to get permission from the admiral at Starfleet, and he tells her the situation. And well, what basically comes back to bite Picard on the arse in this is that TV interview he did with the media in the last episode, where they were talking about the past and talking about the whole decision over cloning and this technology, and how it was his decision not to ban it at the time, that it was actually crucial to the mission and to development. And that in this interview he was publicly critical of Starfleet and their decisions. So basically, I mean, they might not have let him go on the mission anyway, but that was sort of the final nail in Picard's coffin. So this admiral is like, well, no, I saw this TV interview where you basically slaughtered us, and there's no chance. And she is really brutal. this actress does a great job. She really delivers these lines with like this sort of blunt coldness. Just this, she's almost very like machine-like and efficient, but she has like this sort of like venom to the way she delivers the voice. She's in a few different scenes, but she's really good because you really believe she is like this very direct, cold-hearted sort of like authority type figure, and she just seems to be enjoying really putting the boots to Picard, and sort of dredging up the past. But the TV interview didn't help matters, so that's that avenue cut off. She says, because he's trying to persuade her, just the one mission, just to sort this out, and then I'll retire again for good. And she's not having any of it. So then later in the episode, he contacts someone he knows who's like a private contact, and he's asking this person to get him a ship. So obviously he's gone outside of the system to get a ship in another way. And then there's talk of, is he going to use the original crew? Is he, Worf and all the different characters from the original show, when he's talking to one of his like close friends? And Picard actually says no. He says, I think their personal loyalty to me and their obligation to me might actually get in the way, and it might sort of just be awkward. So it's interesting because you sort of maybe expect that to be the way the show goes. Then it'll be nostalgia and get the old crew back together. But at the moment, at least, Picard is saying no. He's saying that's not what I'm going to do. I think for this mission, I need to start afresh. I don't want to put them in that sort of position, which might end up going the other way. It might end up then actually in the end they are on the mission, because that's kind of maybe what you want to see. Or it might be then this is just a fresh start, and because it's the Picard spin-off, we might see some of them in cameos, but maybe they won't feature centrally as they once did. But I do like the way this is sold, the fact that you can see Picard's desperation, that this mission has to go ahead, this has to be dealt with, and just the way he's trying to like get what he wants and persuade like Starfleet to let him go on one last mission. It's really well sold. And it's sort of a great moment, the scene after he's spoken to the Doctor, because he just waltzes into like Starfleet, and you see like a sort of like a simulation of like the stars ship Enterprise above his head, and the music plays out, and it's this quite sort of bombastic sort of scene. And it's almost saying, yes, Picard's back, this is what he wants. And then he's cut off basically at the knees by the Admiral. He's just so deflated, because it's almost like he thinks, yeah, the Doctor's approved it. And once I point out how serious this whole mission is and what needs to be done, they'll go with it because it's important. It's too risky not to deal with. But no, little does he know how to play. And as we find out more about the ulterior motives of the Admiral, and she talks to this lieutenant character, Lieutenant Rizzo, who, another great little character you get in these really cool little supporting roles, just smaller parts. But Rizzo, and who's really beautiful, I have to say, the actress is like just awesome, just stunning. But she has a nice little role, but she's on the phone to the Admiral, and the Admiral is just instructing her to investigate this, basically. So they're sort of playing this game where the Admiral is saying, well, I think it's that way around, or it might be the Lieutenant saying that to the Admiral. It's someone else, and anyway, saying, oh no, I think it's later that the Admiral calls the Lieutenant in, but there's someone else on the phone. And I think she tells the Admiral, well, why don't you just investigate what Picard is saying and make sure there is this sort of threat, there is this problem now. And she says, oh, don't worry, I've got my best woman on it. And that turns out to be Lieutenant, and that the Lieutenant Rizzo has contact with the Narak character, the Harry Treadwell. It's either Treadwell or Treadaway. I think you just say Treadwell character, and he's the one on the base now. And we saw him at the end of last week's episode, and he showed up in the scene with the other half, the twin of Daji, and lo and behold, they're sleeping together now. So there was a bit of flirtation with them at the end of last week's. And he's clearly a villain. You can tell that by the way he was introduced. There was no subtlety there. I like him as an actor, but yeah, maybe they could have been a bit more subtle and less on the nose with that. But what the hell? Good actor. Interesting to see where his character is. But he basically on this base, they're sort of exploring and experimenting with the Borgs. So the Borg, the alien life form, who were, if I'm right, were first introduced in Next Generation and have also featured in other Star Trek TV shows and the media and films. Also Voyager, I believe. But yeah, really threatening, one of the great standout villains and aliens of the Star Trek universe. So they're being experimented on in this scene. And we find out then I think Narak, I think his name is, the Treadwell character, has been planted by Starfleet, by the Lieutenant, to get close to the android twin. And the reason for that is because they're trying to locate her sister, her other side. And he's also got an interest in the Borg experiment. So he seems to have all this special clearance, even though in theory he doesn't have any sort of an official ranking that would allow him to. But in any case, he's obviously started a relationship with the other twin, and they're getting close, and he's always in the background doing something sort of like sinister and suspicious. And it's one of the last scenes. Rizzo, it might be the last scene actually. Narak, his name is, Lieutenant Rizzo visits him and just puts the pressure on him and says, we there's pressure on me from a higher power. We really need to get this cracking. We need to get on top of this. Are you in control? And there's actually sort of a little joke where it's I think Narak or something says, I can't quite remember the line. It's something like, I'm on top of this, or whatever, and the camera sort of cheekily points to the bed sort of thing where they've obviously slept together, and it's still a mate. So it's and she's very, this suggestive sort of look, I'm sure you are sort of thing. We get a bit more with Alison Pill's character, the Doctor, who visits Picard again, and it's just telling him more about the Daji, her sort of background, and the whole government and experiment. So just a little more background. We don't see much of a character. I sort of expect we're going to see more in future episodes, but yeah, that's pretty much the episode. Another good episode, I thought. Maybe a bit over heavily with the plot explaining at times, but generally I thought it was a really good watch. Really funny. Had some good like new characters like thrown into the mix as well, and again really building. I think it really impressed me how they're giving you like a slow sort of build to Picard getting the mission on track, and you know the sort of what's going to be the direction of this season. It wasn't just that's it. He decided to go on this mission and it fell into place. There's obviously these hurdles, and it's again gets more into the politics behind it. So all that stuff is really well done, really sort of juicy and intriguing, and a fun watch again. So really no complaints so far. I think it's really been an excellent start, and I look forward to seeing more. So that is Star Trek Picard episode 2. If you've seen it, then let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Like and subscribe if you are a new subscriber, and I'll see you for more new TV reviews soon. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.